Are you afraid to make the jump because you're scared that you don't know how to survive without a job? Well, here's what I did.
Everybody eats. Everybody eats.
I ain't eating. You ain't eating? What you mean you ain't eating? You ain't making this paper, man? Let everybody eat. I gotta eat, man.
You are listening to the Everybody Eats podcast. Now for your host, Mr. AJ Simmons.
Thank y'all for waking up with me this morning. This is AJ Simmons on the Everybody Eats podcast. I got a serious one this morning. I actually got this message from Watt in my Snapchat. He sent me a message on Snapchat, which is AJ Rich Already 16. Follow me there. I like this topic. I love it actually because this is something that I don't go over every day, but it definitely needs to be addressed because there's a lot of you out there who have already made the jump and you're struggling to survive without a job. And then those are you out there who's just like Watt, who want to make the jump. You hate your job, but you're scared because you don't know exactly what's going on behind the scenes. How are people surviving without a job? Like, is it magic? Do they got something else going on or what? You know what I mean? So let's break it down for a minute. So I had to actually take notes for this video and break it down because I want to make sure that I give you everything. I don't want to leave nothing out. All right, so I'm gonna start off with this. I'm gonna give you the mindset that you gotta have. First of all, the reason why I was able to jump is I have a different mindset, and the first thing is I value time over money. Okay, so and time can't pay the bills. The bill collectors want money, but it's a conflict because I value time over the money. And so, for example, I'd rather have my entire day to create content and work on me and be able to go to the gym and pretty much manage my schedule the way that I want versus going to spend 8 to 10 hours or 12 hours at somebody else's company and working for their business and their stuff. So I'd rather be building my stuff, using my time to build my stuff than to build somebody else's stuff. And so that's the number one thing why I'm able to do it, because I have that mindset. Now the other thing is I accept the fact that I could go bankrupt. You know what I mean? Like, before I even jumped out there, before I even quit that nice shipyard job with the benefits and all of that, I already put in my mind now, look, be prepared if some cars get repoed. You know what I mean? It's part of it. Be prepared that if the lights get cut off, if the cable get cut off, whatever, be prepared for it. You know what I mean? I looked at all of it. Even if the business failed, you know what I mean? I won't make it a penny. If anything happened, I was prepared. So mentally, I put myself in a mind state like, you know what? I could lose it all. You know what I mean? But I'm still going to keep going, all right? And then because when you look at a lot of success stories, you look at guys like Steve Harvey, guys like Tyler Perry, you know what I mean? All these different people, all the successful people, like they had to go through such great hardship. So when you look at your situation where you think you're going through such a hard time at your job where you're miserable and all of that, when you look at a lot of these superstars and successful people, you say, you know what, damn, they story way harder than mine was. So you know what, why shouldn't I jump? Why shouldn't I risk it? Why shouldn't I try? Because as long as you keep trying, you're going to persevere. That's just the way I believe. So another thing is, it don't matter anyway. You know what I mean? I always go back to this, and I actually heard Gary Vee say this sometime too, and I thought it was funny because I thought I was the only one that thought like this. But it's like, as much as an entrepreneur, as much as we care about being successful and as much as you got to obsess over it, at the end of the day, like in the very back of your head, you got to have like 10% in the back of your brain that says, who gives a fuck? You know, it don't matter anyway, because it ain't like you can take none of this stuff with you. Like, you're going to die anyway. So it's like, take a risk. You know what I mean? Like, jump, do something. Don't be scared to try stuff. Don't be scared to invest your money in stuff. Don't be afraid to lose stuff. Because at the end of the day, it's not like you're not going to ascend to the next life if you didn't accomplish the dream that you really wanted to accomplish before you leave here. You know what I mean? But it's like, since you're here and you got to go through it, why not go for it? You know what I mean? Otherwise, you're going to be miserable the whole time sitting here waiting anyway. So you might as well go for it. But it's like, at the end of the day, if for whatever reason something happens, you don't make it, or you fail, or whatever the case may be, I mean, it's not that serious. You know what I mean? Like, you still got your family, you still got your health, you still got, you know, man, the important things are what that really matters. Like all of this other stuff, being successful. I mean, being successful is a relative term. You know what I mean? It really does. It's not that serious. So keep that little small percentage in the back of your head. You got to make sure it's a small percent though, because if you don't care too much, then you'll never be able to obsess over the thing that you're trying to get to. So you got to have a balance there. And then the final mindset thing that I have is there's nothing to lose. You know what I mean? I look at it like I have nothing to lose. I mean, I come from the worst city probably in Virginia. You know what I mean? I come from a position where to me it was already misery anyway. So it's like if I go and I take my last and invest it in a business and flip or do what I gotta do to try to get out that hood or to better my situation, well, go for it. You know what I mean? Because it's like, what I'm gonna do? Fail and go back to where I came from? So I've been there anyway. Versus if I don't try and then I'm still stuck there. You know what I mean? So forget it. I'm gonna go for it and I'm gonna go big. Why not try? Donald Trump said, and I know you ain't gotta be a Donald Trump fan to listen to his advice when it comes to business. And Donald Trump said, if you're gonna do anything, do it big. And I agree with that. I agree. If you're gonna try, then why not try to win the whole game? I ain't just gonna play a game of basketball just so I can win this quarter. Then I'm trying to go for the whole game. You know what I mean? So why not go? Like, do what you gotta do. Dive for the ball. You know what I mean? Like, play through that hurt that you got. You know what I mean? Your side hurt, you hurt your knee, whatever. Play through it. You know what I mean? Keep going. If you able to run, then run. You know what I mean? You able to jump high as you can. Do what you got to do, but go for the whole thing. Why'd you in the game if you ain't going for the whole thing? All right, so that's my mindset, and that's what really propels me, because it all starts in the mind first. But now let me get to the practical. All right, so the truth of the matter is, number one, I got multiple sources of income. So I don't want people to, when I tell people, look, jump. Well, I'm logical about it too. You know what I mean? I don't just depend on one single source of income. And now you can, but just make sure that source of income that you're depending on is something that you're single-handedly, I won't say single-handedly, but something that's depending on you and your success, which would be your business. This is yours and you control it. I wouldn't do it all based off of a job that can close the doors any day and you don't know. You know what I mean? So, but that's number one. I got multiple sources of income. So, and I won't say that I'm balling or I got a bunch going on, but I do have different checks coming in. So that helps. Another thing to consider is this. When it gets slower, when times get tight, I Uber. You know what I mean? I Uber, I Lyft drive, I do both of those. So don't think that I'm out here just, you know what I mean, peaches and cream every day. I don't do nothing. No, I'm grinding. You know what I mean? If I ain't grinding on that computer creating content, or if I ain't doing something for the cleaning business, or if I ain't, you know what I mean, like I'm always working, and if it get worse, then I'm out there driving. You know what I mean? I'm picking people up. So I do what I got to do, and that's what you got to make sure that you're capable of doing. Doing what you have to do, buckling down when times get tight. When you're back against the wall, you got to be able to make a decision and go into survival mode if you got to, all right? And then the third thing is I keep my bills low, and I recommend that to anybody who wants to be an entrepreneur. You got to keep your bills low, okay? Don't go get no new car because you a boss now. That ain't how it works. You know what I mean? I did that in the beginning. That's not the smart thing to do. You know what I mean? Just try to keep your rent as low as you can. Obviously, you don't want to stay in the projects. I did that too. That didn't work out too well. but keep your expenses as low as possible across the board. You know, maybe you can go without cable. You know, maybe you don't need to upgrade every phone every time a new phone comes out. You know what I mean? So just keep your expenses low, and that'll definitely help a lot. Now, let me tell you the hard part though. The hard part is the fact that I have a family, number one, because if I didn't have a family, it would be harder and easier. It'd be harder because I could not care that much more, which means that my living conditions would probably be in a car somewhere. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't need any of the stuff that I have now. You know what I mean? So it's like, if I was a single person, like now that I got a family, I have to think bigger than myself. You know what I mean? So I can't do things that will compromise my kids too much or compromise my fiance too much. You know what I mean? So I got to balance that out, and that makes it that much harder for me. It's easier because it's like at the same time I'm more comfortable, but it makes it harder because now I can't grind as risky or as hard or go so so wild with it. You know what I mean? So that's one thing that makes it hard. And then the other thing that makes it hard is the fact that, again, I got to maintain that lifestyle that I've already provided for them. You know what I mean? So it's like I got to maintain, but at the same time, and it's like, obviously I'm not going to maintain it to the T, because like I tell y'all, if you're going to get into entrepreneurship, then you're going to have to sacrifice something. And what that sacrifice usually has to be is your current lifestyle. So don't be like, be willing to give something up. You gotta give up some. You might not give it all up, but you better be willing to give up some of it. All right. And that reason alone is why I gotta tell you this too. Like, I fight the battle of going back to a job almost every other day, probably. You know what I mean? Just because, and not even because I'm struggling or anything. It's not really necessarily because of that. It's more because I want that security. You know what I mean? It's like, it's for the sake of my family sometimes. You know what I mean? It's like, I just want to, it's like, cause yeah, you might have paid the bills this month. Well, what about next month? You know what I mean? Or you might pay them next month. What about a month? So it's like those negative thoughts are creeping to your head, but then you have to be able to believe harder than what the doubts inside of yourself are. And then you also got to make sure that your grind actually reflect that, because if you can believe all you want to, but if you ain't out there getting it, you know what I mean? The bills ain't gonna get paid. So, but yeah, I gotta put it, like, I honestly go through that a lot. You know what I mean? I was very close earlier this week to picking up that phone and calling Jam Pro up, because I know I can go back and go work for them and make decent money too. You know what I mean? So it's hard. It is a struggle to balance that, but you got to stay focused and figure out what you want the most. And if that's what you want the most, then you need to execute. You know what I mean? You got to make sure that your grind reflect that. All right. And so, here's my recommendation to Watt and anybody else in the situation that he's in, where you hate your job, it's killing you. You know what I mean? And you want to take the jump, but you're scared, or you just not, you know what I mean? You don't want to take that risk just yet. This what I want to tell you. All right. First of all, especially in his situation, he has a cleaning business. You know what I mean? So he has a job, then he has cleaning business. Number one is put your system in place. All right. If you haven't gotten the system, on my website, www.ajsimmonsonline.com, buy that. I can promise you now, I told the people in the mastermind group this too. That's the single most important product that I ever made, period. That's more important than the starter kit. That's more important than all of that shit, right? And I really wanted to sell that higher than anything, but I knew that nobody will actually pay what it was worth. And the truth of the matter is, you need that, because that's going to teach you how to structure your business and run it like a business is supposed to be ran. Okay, it's going to show you how to get a company that runs without you physically having to be involved with it. All right, so get the system if you don't have it already. Put your system in place in your business. All right, and then once you do that, have the cleaning business or whatever type of side business that you have outside of your job. Make sure that business can operate without you and is operating without you, and that it pays you, and then whatever money that business is paying you, you need to get it to the point where it pays you the same amount that your job pays you now. All right, then once you get it to do that, then you can quit. But set a date though. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't have a date already set, then set a date, because what happens is this. This is why jobs kill people most of the time, and I've done this a lot. You don't have a date set of when you're gonna actually quit. And so if you don't have a date set, and that date has to be synchronized with your system, like your system has to be growing, and your money has to be growing, and you have to be able to mathematically decide, okay, if I keep growing at this pace, on this date, I should be able to quit. You know what I mean? And I'm going to quit. And so if you don't do that, then what tends to happen is your brain says, damn, month after month, year after year, I still got to keep coming to this place talking about the job. You know what I mean? And so it's like, now you're like, fuck this shit, I'm ready to leave today then, because it's like I ain't gonna never leave. Versus if you have a date set, then your brain will know, all right, well, let's just keep going, you know, June 21st, we gone. You know what I mean? If you put a date on it, it makes it easier to grind it out and get through. So put a date on it and hustle for that, all right? And I'm gonna tell you this one last thing too, because he said the job is killing him. But I'm gonna tell you something about that. The job might be killing you to go to it every day, but it ain't killed you yet. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because if it did, you would have been gone already. All right, so take my advice that I just said, put your date in place, and set it and make sure that your system pays you. Because what you don't want to do is, and we all do it, I did it this way too, but what you really don't want to do is quit that job prematurely and you get out here and then you got to work for your business. Because what's going to happen is you're going to end up working more hours for either equal or less pay than what you're getting at the job. Sometimes you might make more than what you was getting at the job, but you're still going to be working like a slave. And in the beginning, it'll be cool because you say, well, at least it's for me. In the beginning, that's cool. But after a year or two, then you're going to start to say, all right, this ain't going to work either. You know what I mean? Because now you done gave up all the benefits and everything that come with the job. You know what I mean? If you got benefits with the job. So it's like, do it smart, be patient. You know what I mean? A year might seem long, 2 years might seem long, 5 years might seem long to a person without experience. You know what I mean? I'll be 30 next year. And I swear I was just 18 last week. You know what I mean? So time goes faster than what you think it is, and just be patient. If you set a 5-year plan and follow that 5-year plan, you'll be way past everybody else that's living in the now. All right. So don't be looking to the left or the right. You put your plan in place and you do what you got to do. All right. So bottom line though, if you really want to survive without a job, get your mindset right. Get your income sources right. Get your plan together and jump. Point blank period. Do it. And why not? You ain't got nothing else to lose. How else you gonna get there? You gotta take a risk. You know what I mean? What else you gonna do? How else you gonna get there? Ain't nobody gonna do it. Ain't gonna be no magic. You know what I mean? You can't law of attraction your way there. You can't wish your way there. You know what I mean? Law of attraction requires work. When they say obsess over this stuff and think about it over there, what you think gonna happen when you obsess with something? Michael Jordan was obsessed with basketball. And what was he? The hardest working man in basketball when he played. Look at Russell Westbrook. You know what I mean? That's work. Obsession. You can see it. They relentless with it. You know what I mean? So bottom line, go get it. You know what I mean? I think y'all got it. I think I broke it down clear enough. And if you got any more, leave a comment below. Hit me up on Instagram. By the way, I don't check any messages no more. Definitely don't message me on Facebook. I'll never get to it. I don't really check my emails as much no more. The number one place to get your questions answered is either in the comments below the videos, on Instagram Messenger, and maybe on Snapchat Message if you keep the message short. All right. So, or if you really want me to get to you, join the mastermind group. Only $2.97. Everything that I've ever created as far as content and products is in that group. So anything on my store, as soon as you get in the group, you get it for free. Well, not for free, but included with your membership fee. And it's all included in addition to having instant access to me. You ask a question, I got you right there on the spot. So thank y'all for watching, subscribing, liking, sharing, and comment. I hope this was able to help you, and I'll talk to y'all soon.